In this video, we're going to be explaining why Mascot Horror is in the place that it's in now. A really kind of tough spot. Some people could say that this is the best that Mascot Horror has ever been. Some people say that it's the worst that Mascot Horror has ever been. And some people say that it's actually dying. Like, I'm going to put some different thumbnails on the screen. But many people saying different things about Mascot Horror right now. And I never really seen anyone talk about why it is the way it is. I kept thinking about why it is. I kept seeing most of the video people talk about it, but I always thought deep down I knew what it was. And so doing a little bit more research, I was like, I need to make a video about this because Mascot Horror, my channel is kind of built on that too. I talk about Bendy, Five Nights at Freddy's, Poppy Playtime, and even now Rainbow Friends and Gods in a Band sometimes because, I just do videos on them sometimes, and those are all Mascot Horror. And as you can definitely see, it progressed downhills, or did it really go downhill? In this video, we're going to be explaining everything and why it's at the state that it is now. So buckle up because we're going to be going a trip down memory lane. So if you're not new, so if you're actually new here and you do not know anything about Mascot Horror, well, I said well twice. But Mascot Horror is all really started up with Five Nights at Freddy's, Mascot Horror is just as a mascot character, and the whole horror is built around it. Nothing like you're thinking probably like Resident Evil or I don't know. I'm trying to think of another one. A Dead Space. Those type of horror games, not really built around it. Like Little Nightmares. All that stuff is not really built around a mascot. It's built around a horror and the environment. But Five Nights at Freddy's, Bendy and Ink Machine, and Poppy Playtime, those are mascot horror games. Because you have a mascot. You have Bendy as a mascot of a studio and it's a horror game. Five Nights at Freddy's a mascot of the pizzeria. And Poppy Playtime with Huggy Wuggy and Poppy being the mascots and the toys in, this play place. So it all really started with Five Nights at Freddy's until kept making all the different games. Mascot Horror was good there. It was actually scary, and it wasn't really catered toward kids. It wasn't really meant for kids. He wasn't going for a kid audience. And then after that, Bendy eventually came out, which was not meant for kids at all. It was meant to be a fun little one-day experiment, just testing making a game. It kind of blew up and then became this huge sensation, even with spinning off multiple games like Bendy Boris in the Dark Survival, even have the phone game Bendy Nightmare One that is sadly not here anymore. And also the newest addition to the title, the newest title edition, it's Bendy in the Dark Revival. An amazing game that I definitely do love, and it's definitely the best Bendy game out there that literally fixes every problem with the first game. Literally, when it comes to graphics, story, gameplay, just everything, it is a lot better than the first game. I already did a whole video talking about how good it is and the whole review on that. But, Bendy in the Dark Revival is right now the best mascot horror game up to date so far in the whole 20,000 era, whatever you call it, the 2000s era. I don't know what you call this new era. But anywho, after that, really came the success from Bendy and Ink Machine and Five Nights at Freddy's kind of led into the success of Poppy Playtime, since the creators of Poppy Playtime really started from doing Five Nights at Freddy's Minecraft animations, and I guess one or two Bendy animations here or there, but mainly Five Nights at Freddy's. And they know Bendy, they know Five Nights at Freddy's, and we all probably know that's the reason why Poppy Playtime was inspired. It's mascot horror, it's supposed to be fun, scary, and a unique thing to the horror game experience. So they created Poppy Playtime. Yeah, in the beginning I had a little bit of controversy, saying that they stole some things. I definitely was kind of open-minded to that. You could see why they could have done that, but you could also kind of see how they couldn't have done that. It's the whole mixed bag, so I kind of stood away from the whole drama and everything, just had fun playing the game as it actually is, and it kind of faded away. I had a feeling it was going to do that, but really that the first chapter was kind of tense. You had tense moments, you're scared. The whole chasing Huggy Wuggy wasn't too scary, but it was a pretty good horror game. It wasn't a terrible mascot horror game. Many people had a problem with it, thinking it's not too scary like it should have been. But I think it was an okay horror experience. Yes, it wasn't anything that made me, all scared, have a jump scare or anything like that. It was kind of predictable at some moments, but it was okay. And also around the same time, the Unforbidden game came out. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach released. And that's where mascot horror kind of drooped down immediately, because in the same time as Poppy Playtime release is when it was starting to go downhill a little bit, but it didn't really fully roll until Security Breach came out, and that kind of, did everything done. It was done after that because this whole game was leading him to be this huge, big, kind of scary experience for the next big title into FNAF. It's showing the story to the next level. But then, sadly, when it came out, the game was the buggy, the buggy mess we all know. But we're not talking about the buggy mess right now. We're talking about the story. We're talking about how scary it is. And the only thing scary about that game was the endo scene. And I think everybody in the FNAF community can literally agree with this one thing, that the endos in the whole ender area was actually scary, being the whole weeping angel type mechanic. How if you look at them, they freeze. You look away, they run after you in fast speed that you cannot chase them out. Well, sometimes you can, but that's not the topic here. But yeah, that was kind of scary. There is some tense moments, like the first time playing the daycare in the first update. Like now we have the lights letting you know where the generators are, but in the beginning, it was all pitch black. You had no idea where the generators are. This moon kept laughing. It was actually tense. And that was in the beginning of the game until it slowly just became Glam Rock Freddy just being there as a dad material, being all nice to Gregory, good bonding. That's really it. The rest of the game was not scary at all. It's really kind of like wanting to be stealthy, but everything in the whole Pizzaplex was all colorful, all kind of catered towards kids, because the FNAF series in the beginning, was not for kids, but then slowly Funko, McFarlane, they created all the different merch, like, Funko Pops, action figures, plushies, shirts, socks, even underwear. There's literally FNAF merch in anything you could think of. Plates, spoons, literally anything. There is a FNAF merch for it, and you can definitely tell lots of it is catered towards kids. Like sometimes there isn't, and sometimes there is, and now Funko's even making hand puppets for FNAF. So we can see where this is heading, but Security Breach and Poppy Playtime kind of let it down to the creation of two famous games right now, Rainbow Friends and Garten of Banban. And that's when these two games came out. Well, when Rainbow Friends kind of came out, everybody did not say it was a death of Mascot Horror. It's just a Roblox game, and any game that came out on Roblox, everybody gets pushed aside and be like, it's a Roblox game. It's not considered a full-on game like Roblox Piggy, and well, Doors is literally amazing. It's the best Roblox horror game out there. But usually when it came to Roblox, Rainbow Friends and Piggy, they get pushed aside and be like, it's nothing. But Garten of Banban's on Steam. It's a different game. It's not on Roblox. So that's when the community went all crazy on it, even though Garten of Banban has more similarities to Rainbow Friends and Poppy Playtime, but Rainbow Friends have a lot of similarities to Poppy Playtime, so it all leads up to the main villain, Poppy Playtime, even though I love Poppy Playtime. If any creators watching this, it works on Poppy Playtime. It's an amazing game. I literally love it. I don't hate it at all. I'm just saying that Poppy Playtime, inspired these other games everyone's saying that it's the downfall of Mascot Horror, but I'm not saying it's the fall of Poppy Playtime. People always like Bendy and Ink. You know how many other fan games came out to that? Yeah, a lot. But anywho, the real problem with the Poppy Playtime, I guess other copycats, as they're calling it, they never really called it fan games. You never really see a Poppy Playtime fan game out there. You really just see a Poppy Playtime game. A game that looks a lot like Poppy Playtime, and it marketed itself as a not Poppy Playtime game. Just because of Rainbow Friends, you've seen other games that look exactly like Poppy Playtime, but then, they just market as something else. Unlike Five Nights at Freddy's or Bendy and Ink Machine, they all say it's a fan game. Everybody looks at these Poppy Playtime copycats and be like, it has to be a fan game, but they don't market it as that because they want to make money. All these fan games or all these copycat games kind of, exists to cater towards kids. Like, you're not telling me that Rainbow Friends and Garten of Banban looks like a horror game. There's nothing scary about any of these two games. Garten of Banban literally has one tense scene with the bird. When I was first playing it, I did not know what to do, so it did get me a little bit tense here and now, sweating, I guess 1 or 2 bits, because I kept getting annoying because I was so close, kept failing. But that was really it. Wasn't scary. It was just annoying when you don't know what to do in the beginning. But once you know what to do, there's no jump scares. It could, I guess, be a little creepy with that bird, but it's nothing scary. And now it's on mobile too, and when something comes on mobile, it's 100% saying and screaming, hey kids, it's on mobile. Play it now, and then when we release the next game, it's going to cost money, so you can beg your parents, because that's the main reason of these new games. It's to take all the money out of the parents' wallets, literally. It's like, we create merch. We make a game that costs money. The kids are gonna beg their parents to do it, and the mom's just like, I gotta agree with this kid. I gotta give this kid what he wants. unless the parents is like, you're screaming, here goes a belt. It's too late for you. But in this whole entire video, we're talking about how, you know, it all fell down, and you're probably like, okay, you know, Mascot Horror definitely fell down, you know, it definitely went down a hill, but why did it go that way? Is because it's Poppy Playtime? But that's not the real culprit. The real culprit behind everything is YouTube. Yes, YouTube is the main reason why all these horror games blew up in popularity. Because if it wasn't for YouTube, I bet you right now, Five Nights at Freddy's, Ben the Unique Machine, Gotten a Band, Rainbow Friends, all these games would probably not become popular at all. All those games would have probably not happened. Five Nights at Freddy's would have been just a game, and now is it. Scott would have probably ended his career, and now is it. But since YouTube blew up, many people do videos on it, that's why these new indie games of Mascot Horror is blowing up. Because it's YouTube algorithm. It's feeding the algorithm what it wants. The algorithm just wants colorful mascot things that look like they're supposed to be something scary, but they're not something scary. Like, you know, Chuck E. Cheese, but oh, look, it's scary. We make that into a horror game, boom, the algorithm's fed. It's hungry for that 1 or 2 month. Like Rainbow Friends, Rouse Chapter 2? Well, they're kind of busy making merch right now and licensing deals than to actually work in the second chapter. But anywho, right now, it's all really because of YouTube. Because if YouTube was not a thing, many people will not watch it. And you're probably wondering right now then, you know, why is this game still coming up if it's because of YouTube? Well, you know, I'm going to go on to explain that. And now the reason why, you know, it's probably all blowing up still is because of YouTubers too. It's not just YouTubers as a scene, it's the YouTubers who are uploading them. Their fan base loves Mascot Horror. So they, you know, the creator of any YouTuber creator wants to make videos on anything Mascot Horror. But they can't keep on milking videos and content off 1 or 2 games like Poppy Playtime or Ben the Unique Machine. They slowly die, and since Poppy Playtime, we're waiting for our next chapter, we have to wait a long time. Now we've been waiting more than 9 months for the next chapter, so you have to wait a long time to get any new content on that Mascot Horror. So this is about indie devs go and make a 1 to 2 day game. It took them 1 to 2 days to make, and boom, Mascot Horror, boom, it feeds the algorithm, and boom, all the content creators get to pump out new videos on this, literally last 1 to 2 months, and then die, and nobody talks about them until a new update comes out. And when that happens, boom, the algorithm's back at it, eating it. And now that this is happening, now that God in a Band came out and all these other games came out, many devs are going to be keep on trying to do this. But also, you know, many devs are going to keep on trying to just milk it and make a whole bunch of Mascot Horror that sucks. While other devs on the other side is putting hard time, passion, and making a great game where nobody's going to see it because it has no colorful mascot. It's nothing like, what if someone make a true horror game? It's really scary. It's really amazing. But it's not what the algorithm wants. It's not what the YouTubers want to make videos on because their audience is going to watch colorful stuff, not cool and really actual scary and real horror games. So that's why it's blowing up right now. There's a whole bunch of Mascot Horror games right now that are really amazing. They're actually scary and they're actually good. But we can't just experience it because all the YouTubers and content and the algorithm wants the kid-friendly Mascot Horror, not the real scary Mascot Horror. And that's why that's blowing up. It's the reason why, you know, all the Mascot Horror is blowing up, and that's why it's the way it is. It's just because it's what the algorithm wants. It's technically what people want. You may not want it, but kids out there want it. Kids out there are watching it. It's proven to be successful. And when something's successful, people keep replicating it over and over again to just milk it to make the last dollars. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to Earth, everybody just wants money. And that's right now what the money's at. It's not at real horror anymore. It's just at kiddie stuff toward kids because kids are the real marketing. Have you seen Ryan's Toy reviews and Cocomelon? If you know about them, you probably haven't seen them, but you know about them because how much money that kid's making. He's making $20 million reviewing toys for kids. Cocomelon's making millions, is #1 trending on Netflix sometimes, just because it's geared toward kids. Kids is a huge audience, and we can't ignore it anymore. Horror games now even slipping to the whole kid thing, and that's what's happening now. Unless YouTubers want to change what they're uploading, unless the algorithm wants to slowly change and adapt, unless people decide to look at other Mascot Horror games instead of seeing colorful ones, then maybe Mascot Horror will be saved. But right now, it's at a weird state of copying back and forth. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It seems like many times in this video I was kind of stuttering and stopping here and there to think, because this video is not scripted at all. It may seem scripted at some parts, but it's just me here rambling into a microphone about kid mascot horror games. So I hope you liked today's video, and if you want to see more about it, I definitely do have a lot of things to say about, more about mascot horror. So if you want to see more about that, definitely tell me in the comments below, and definitely go check out other people's videos. Like, there's a whole bunch of great videos talking about mascot horror that you should definitely go see. This video is just to tell you why it is the way it is, and maybe even a way that we could possibly change this. But I don't think this is me changing anytime soon, but maybe when Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 comes out, maybe if it's actually scary, it might change mascot horror. So I have hopes for Poppy Playtime for the future of this mascot horror craziness. But anywho, see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.